Hello everybody, I am live here today, Thursday at noon with my jewelry on. I think one of my favorite things to do, hi, nice to see you. One of my favorite things to do is to just kind of like get ready. I'm going out to the party. We're meeting each other here. So putting on all my jewels and being ready. You know, I always like the idea of performance art, you know, so this is really seeing the whole big picture put together, you know, just in layers. So hello, hola. I even talked to Kim this morning, super early. I always know Kim's up at 5 a.m., so pretty cool. Hi, Deb, nice to have you back here. Oh my gosh, you guys. Hi, Anita. Hello, everybody. Oh my gosh. Mwah. I'm so happy to see you guys this morning. Boy, I feel like it's been kind of a crazy couple weeks for me. So, hi. Yay, fantastic. Nice to see you guys here. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think you guys heard about, hello, Byron Bay from Nice to see you. Oh my gosh, you guys, the people, and Christina's here. Get to the art. That's Christina, you guys. Da-da-da. Drum roll. She always, when I see her too, it always brings, you know, makes me feel good. That's my talisman because she really is my right-hand person. There she is. So, nice to see you guys. I feel like we're getting a little break in our weather here. A couple new things, you know, I've been seeing such incredible work from the Intentional Metalsmithing group. I'm so proud of the place that you guys have all got to. It's so beautiful to see you guys. Oh my gosh, it's like even from the beginning, you know, there's people just really moving into their own work in their own way. So that's really exciting to see. You know, for me, I have to say, it's like, you know, I'm always talking about, you know, to grow as an artist, to grow as yourself. You really, it's important to kind of just go out and explore your world and explore what's around you. And, you know, it just starts with all these small things. The same way I talk about growing your jewelry, just, you know, little steps at a time. It's interesting because I just started, I talk about it all the time. I start walking on my beach every day, walking up to my beach. Kim Lindenmeyer, nice to see you guys. Fall is coming. So as I'm going out with my little dog, and all summer I've been walking on my beach, suddenly I discovered, oh, there's a yoga group that meets Tuesday morning so we can do yoga on the beach. There's a drum group that meets on Sunday afternoon. I stumbled upon them. I was so excited. So now it's like I really got to spend a couple hours with this beautiful vibration of the drums, which is, as many people know, you know, anyone who is in a drum group, you know that it really kind of brings you into a meditative state without drugs, without even meditating. It'll pull you into a beautiful space. Rock and roll. I had so much fun. I'm gonna bring my drum up there this coming Sunday. So it's like, you know, all these little things that I'm finding step by step in my world and in my life. Your jewelry is just a reflection of what's going on in your life. You can see who a person is through their jewelry. It's just so interesting to me. So, I mean, whenever I was teaching at a different time, I could see who you are. I could see the beautiful part of you. You know, there's no wrong in how you're putting your pieces together or how you're assembling or what you're doing. You could tell, like, there's just a certain, I feel like I'm gonna get a certain rhythm to my jewelry once I start doing more drumming. Does that make sense? So anyway, my belief. I'm so glad to see you guys all today. Thank you for joining me. Yay, I know, it's so true. So I think next week I meet with my group. I've been with you guys on our Facebook group, and you know, I'm really enjoying everything about it. Well, one thing I wanted to mention, you guys, if you guys are actually on my, well, you guys are on my Instagram, I wanted to say that this work that I'm doing right now with 24 gauge and wire and all this caging work, this work was all developed when sterling silver was super sky high. So don't be afraid with silver going up in price. Don't be afraid. You know, you're learning the techniques to work with a 24 karat gold, sorry guys, gauge, and a lot of different things. Hi, Christy, nice to see you guys. Hey, I also want to tell you something else, and then we have a really exciting subject that I know you guys know about. But I'm actually talking about Milagros today. I did a lot of research. This is most of my new work here came from this author here. It is Martha Egan. I can't put links up here, but what I do like about Instagram Live is that I can put photos up, as you guys know. I actually have an Amazon account now that I'm putting all these books up. I mean, an Amazon account. It's just they give you a nice platform where you can go up and order any of these books if you're interested, and then I just get like a little bitty commission from it. But at least I can list them all in one place, and there's a platform. So this book was really interesting. This was a woman who in 1965 she went and lived in Mexico City, and she studied out there. And to her, she stumbled across all of this amazing work in Milagros and ex-voto. So, for me, I have a couple stories that I want to tie into this. And what I love about, even though this is a subject we know about, what I love, maybe some people know about, what I love is that, Christina says the book recommendation is coming in a couple days. She just contacted me for it, so that's pretty cool. So, it just gets you thinking. What I love is my research that I did with Milagros. It just got me thinking. It's, oh my gosh, all the talisman and the amulets that we love. And I feel like by, giving this discussion or talking about all these things, that's going to bring maybe you guys into a state, will help you how to incorporate this into your work. So even though all of this work, was done in Mexico, it really came from the Spanish people, when the Spanish people came over and conquered, so some of it's pre-Columbian. The jewelry part of it, which I'll go into in a little bit, is kind of pre-Columbian. Yeah, there is a book list. So I do have the book list in there. It's just my main books that I'm researching. Usually when I do a presentation, I usually at least do 2 sources. This time, this Milagro book really offered such a beautiful way. And then if I have an experience myself, I have an experience that I had at this amazing church that was all, and it's in Taos, New Mexico, and it's called Chamayo. And it really is all about the Milagro. It's so fun for me when I start, I understood Milagro jewelry. One of the first times when I was in Mexico, I stumbled, I was like, one of the first times I was in Mexico, I went up to a church and I saw someone right outside the church, an Indian woman, just selling all these little Milagros that I thought were so fascinating. There was sterling silver. It was before silver was cheaper than copper at that time. So it was so interesting, and oh my gosh, I love them. Not that I had a lot of money, but I bought a couple of them. I actually ordered some. They didn't get here on time, but I do have a couple examples that I want to show, for the real ones and then for the jewelry. So this story today is really a lot about, hi you guys, nice to see you here. Thank you for joining. This story today is really a lot about talisman and healing, and it drips into so much symbolism and talisman, but it also drips into the wearables and jewelry as well. But a lot of this source came from the real big pieces. So 2 stories. One of them, I found these right outside the church. They were sterling silver. Sometimes they're done in gold. Sometimes they're done in tin. And what you do is, I think a lot of people know this, but I'll go over it anyway. You will see pieces. Let me get some pieces up here on my photos. Hang on. Where's my photos at? Uh-oh, where are my photos? Let's see. Nope, those are not my photos. Here's my photos, I think. Here they are. Okay, so here's some of the jewelry these are some of the jewelry that I'll talk about a little bit towards the end. This actually is a talisman. It's so crazy to see. Here's the traditional Milagros that we're used to seeing. So I saw pieces like these outside of the church. They were actually sold in this way. This one, oops, I photographed sideways, but there they are all hanging on a separate piece. But this really is the traditional way. Some of them are done in gold, most in silver. There was a lot of silver mines in Mexico. So, also some gold mines, but, and the tin was less so. But, so you would buy something, say someone in your family hurts their leg, or your eyes are starting to fail you. I'm really realizing I'm wearing a lot of the magnifiers when I'm working, and man, I was just thinking today that wouldn't this be wonderful for me to get a couple of the eyes and pin them up back here for just a Milagro in my studio. They actually are so different than just a charm. They actually are called ex-votives or votives, and what votives are is they are a promise of fulfillment, and that's what Milagros are all about. It means miracle in English, but they really are a promise for fulfillment, which is a little different than like a talisman when you hold it with you. These, if I had something wrong with my eyes, like if my eyes are hurting, or if my son broke his leg, you would make a promise that this will be healed. And you go in and you purchase one, or you have one made. Yay! Nice to see you. Yay, yay, yay. And they are so fascinating. So it's different than regular talismans. So, it's a promise to go in and you're promising that you will get healed, So with these talismans, and that's really the whole idea of the whole Milagro. Now, when I didn't even know that these stories went together. Years ago, I was teaching in Santa Fe. Hello, nice to see you guys. So years ago, I was teaching in Santa Fe, and someone came into my workshop. They were from Taos, and they said, wow, up in Taos, we have this church called Chamayo, that the full name of it is the, oh my gosh. It's a pilgrimage. Oh my gosh, I'll give you guys the full name in a minute. I've got everything kind of written in notes. Somebody's gonna pop on and say it. But so it's actually, there was this, someone had come in and they told me that there's this church it's in New Mexico, it's in Taos, and it is from the early 1800s. I mean, really early 1800s. And really, this is a pilgrimage church. This is where people came from all around the area, and just you probably, the average people walked is like 90 miles. It was really a pilgrimage just to kind of get centered, really look for something you're looking for in your life, to let go of things, to add things in your life. The last couple miles, you literally got down on your hands and knees and crawled to the church. So I've seen reference to that a few times, and there's a few churches like this. All of them are, Latin based in Mexico, or actually in Guatemala, in Mexico, South America area. You're going to find this. It's where the Spanish came over. What I'm reading here is that the Spanish brought over these beliefs. But it's so interesting for me. One of the most fascinating things that I find as I've been traveling, I love seeing how, we know the Catholic missionaries went all over the world and infiltrated everyone. Hi, everybody. So I love seeing how they came into a specific culture and how really they took the Catholic religion and kind of made it their own, So you always find magic and all these different things incorporated into, what these beliefs are. So in Chamayo was interesting. The reason I wanted to go there is I heard that there's holy dirt. There's a place in Guatemala that actually so it's called El Poquito, is the little well, and it's holy dirt. Let me see if I've got some photos of what this looks like. You can't take photos when you get inside there. I was floored. So I walked into this church, I heard about the holy dirt, and I was like, I am going there if I'm tired or whatever. I'm going to see this holy dirt. There it is. This is what it looks like in there. So it really is this church. You walk in and you see all of these crazy, let's see if I can find it. Hang on. You see all of this stuff left behind. Oop, my daughter's gonna kill me. I'm getting into crazy stuff now. Here's some more talisman. Sorry, guys. You can see how professional. Good thing we're all casual here, right? You get this is kind of a picture from the inside of Chamayo. I walked in and I had never seen anything like this. On the way to the area that there's holy dirt, people have left crutches behind. People have put up Milagros on the wall, hammered them in. I'm saying like I'll show you guys this photo here because I'm talking about Milagros that are this type of a size right here. This was built by an artist, and you know, not the center part, but this is made out of tin, but these really are the original Milagros and what they're about. They're this size. When they're scaled down, I'll tell you it more towards the end of the conversation what the scaled down jewelry pieces are. I also brought in this piece. This is actually a cross that I bought from Chamaya when I was in Chamaya. It's fascinating because you know the Catholics, it's really tied in with barbed wire. You know, if you read on the history of the Catholics, you know, it's the Spanish Inquisition in there. It's I was raised Catholic and I went to the Catholic Church, and it really, I mean, it's so fascinating to me that back in time you would strap this barbed wire around your legs and just walk through your day, you know, just to kind of get all the evilness out of your system. So this is also like what it looks like up at the front with just Milagros everywhere. So what on the way there, people had discarded crutches, left crutches behind. It's pinned up, and many times it's on a stump of a tree or a beautiful old tree. Some people started putting them on crosses. When you see commercially made up pieces that are on crosses, those are just some of the, hi, there's Adrian on here. Nice to see you, love. Matt is on here. Oh my gosh. Matt is not even in the building. So it's so nice to see you, Matt. Matt's my buddy. We usually meet here every day and talk and chit chat a little, but so hi to you. Enjoy your job. You know, on the way to this holy dirt, I'm walking and all these things are left behind. Usually there's so many things, like when a baby is born and you want to wish make sure that your baby is going to be healthy. They took umbilical cords and bundled them up, and they put handwritten notes on there, and they're pinned up to the wall. When I walked in here, there were baby shoes and photos, all these pictures of people from back in the 1900s to the present day, you know, and crutches. I was like, what are these crutches about? And bikes and, you know, all of these type of things left behind by people who are really hoping for a healing. You know, this is the photo on here, and it's just different. And a lot of these photos are really from this book right here. So, so it was so interesting to me getting back there. I was like, what is this about? I really had never heard about this holy dirt. There's also a place in Guatemala that around the same period of time, they actually had holy clay. Now, when I went in here, you go into this little room that I showed you guys the picture of. You go inside this little room, and you know, you can be in there by yourself. You can take dirt home with you. You dig it out of here. They kind of bring in all this dirt because all the dirt is gone, but they bring in some from the hillside, which is supposed to be this holy area, and then it's blessed. So you go in and you can just kind of rub this dirt all over you is what you're supposed to do now and what I was told. And then you could bring some home in a container with you. So I brought some home, and I was using them in my prayer boxes and putting them inside when I'd seal up a container. I just loved the idea of holy dirt. I only had heard of holy water. So see, isn't that interesting? Yes. So what I found out is back in time in the 1800s, when you did that pilgrimage, and then, you know, for the last part, you kind of crawled there, you got into this chamaya and you ate the dirt. You ingested the dirt, which is some really, you know, in 1965, people were still ingesting the dirt. They're not suggesting it now. They probably don't want to be sued. That's what I'm thinking, you know, but oh my gosh. And, you know, the same thing in Guatemala. There was actually, you ate the clay and it was healing. And that's where people would eat the clay. They would swear that it healed them. They'd leave crutches behind. Casts were in there, just left behind. So interesting, like a jumbled, really kind of a jumbled, you know, kind of a jumbled craziness in there. Let's see there, see that's that. There's another photo there. Okay. So, you know, it's so interesting. So, what they found out is these churches. So way back in time, where did the Native American Indians who started there? How did they tie in? This one is really hard to see, But this is literally a big pile of all kinds of things that were left behind. And I did have a picture of a burial. I think, yeah, this is actually a man's burial that has all type of things tied to him. Looks like he's standing on his head. Unfortunately for me, the photos weren't that great that I took. Okay, I'm gonna get onto one photo and then I'm gonna talk a little more. This is more of like the commercial crosses and things that you see now. So back in time, what do I wanna tell you guys? That Chamaya, there's three ways that they figured that this became a holy site. So first of all, these churches that you're seeing are like a positive vortex or they're a holy site. So Chamaya was a place where the Native American Indians went to anyway. The Mexican people went to, pre-Columbian people went into this area, and it was a holy area. They always figure when there's these healing waters that run through, up on the hill, these healing waters that run through, that people will gravitate. You feel the healing from the waters from many different places. There's a place in Northern California, Esalen Institute, that has healing waters that people have gravitated to forever, so it's really these healing areas, and then the church grows from that, and it's just combined with all different types of cultures there. So that's really interesting. One thing I love about Guatemala too, because I always want to start giving more credit with Black Lives Matter, is that there is a Black Jesus, like a Black healer, and this was in, where do I have this written down? Our Lord of Chalma, and this is in South America. It's in a few different places. So actually, the Spanish came in with this, because if you think about it, the Spanish are actually combined. They found Spanish people are combined of like this Iberian race, which is, which is like the Croatians, the Polish, of the Black African, and then also of the Native American people, or the Mexican people. So, it makes sense. You'd really want to, you of course have a Black healing figure, so that in this Chalma area, there's a church there that really represents, the Black spiritual, which is wonderful. Hello there. So it's so interesting, Milagros, of course. It makes me want to build Milagros and charms in my work. I brought this piece here up again because this piece, I think you guys know, I wanted to wear this set of jewelry today because these pieces kind of remind me of those Mexican ex-votive crosses coming in. And then this one literally has, the charms that hang on here. This would be an amazing ring as well, if you actually had something on here. So it's the charms. These charms in Milagros are really talking about body parts that you want healed. So they're saying that this really came in, which is so interesting, with this Spanish belief. Now, jewelry, we love the jewelry, don't we? Okay, so this is a pretty typical jewelry piece right here. And in here, this talks a lot about how did it tie into jewelry? Okay. The Native American people from this area, they actually really did start wearing the smaller pieces, which is not really considered Milagros. They are considered, when it's put into jewelry, it is pre-Columbian, and it is considered more of, oh my gosh, let's see if I can pronounce it, Nahul and Nahul. A Nahul is determined on which day they're born. So just like us, how we have certain holidays. pre-Spanish time, pre-Columbian time, you would literally, what day you were born on, you would have like certain stones, or you'd have an animal protector that protected you. It would be more of like a spiritual guide. So depending on when your birthday was the type of pieces that you would put onto your jewelry. And these pieces now in jewelry are still worn to this day, and they're all tied in to this same concept of Milagros, which is so interesting. I want to just start keeping these pieces around with me again. You know, I think it's really interesting. And you know, for me, it's like if you saw my book Making Connections, this was so fascinating to me. You know, why would you know, the barbed wire cross? Well, we do know the history, but I actually, in my book Making Connections, I did a whole bracelet series, a stack that looked like barbed wire, which was so interesting, you know. And I think I was realizing as I researched this again that this is really kind of based off of this concept, but again, making it my own, you know. So it's so interesting, I think, because I've been researching these cultures for so many years, and I'm sure you guys have too. We all have our own basis of where our work stems from, you know. So whatever reading material you're finding, maybe just in this talk today, you guys are going to find, you know, be able to put in a little bit more miracles, you know, a little bit more miracles in your life. It's interesting for me because I really always thought of this as, oh my gosh, this is a Mexican culture, the Milagros, you know, so I better not really go there. But the more you put yourself back in time, you find that it's Spanish, and what is the Spanish made up of? And, you know, Eastern European and the Black African in, you know, that the Mexican people are all made of. So it's like, you know, here's me just kind of morphing and metamorphosizing my crosses or my talisman or my objects or my dream catchers, you know, whatever they are to me. I know I'm really exploring this whole cross concept. It's so interesting. You know, for me, I'm bringing it into a spiritual place for me, and prayer boxes for me. So I don't know, kind of interesting. So that's really interesting. I should have brought my new pieces that I just finished working on yesterday. I have a couple pieces here today that I want to try to get finished up in my studio. So how are you guys doing? How are you guys doing? You guys all, what do you guys think about the Milagros? Anyone have any comment? Hi. Have you guys seen the Milagros? Has anyone been into these churches where, you know, for me, it seems so interesting. I've always liked the idea of going on bike rides or going on these pilgrimage. I'm going to get up to this pilgrimage over here. There's I think 300,000 people that go onto these pilgrimages every year, which is kind of crazy. Oh, here's the Church Chamaya. That's what the front of it looks like. And what's that? Nope. And that's the inside of it, parts of it. So interesting. I wanted to tell you guys one of the things that I had the opportunity of running across this week that was so interesting. There is a group just like my interest here, just like our interest here. It's ASJRA. So interesting. They're actually a group. She's actually sharing. Oh, here's all the stuff coming in. But this group, if you look up ASJRA, it's this jewelry organization that's here in the United States. They're so fascinating because, like us, they're from the museum. They're museum curators. They're professors. Some of them might be on here today. We're kind of sharing our sources back and forth. She's putting this jewelry talk onto her website and showing a couple of my pieces, like the energy talisman. And I really want to share her too. I'm going to put this on my Instagram Well, I might have to put it on my Facebook. It's so hard to share links on here. And there! Yay! Downtown, yes. So you can see, lovely. Oh, you know what I wanted to tell you guys about these Milagros, and then I'll come back. Sorry, I jump around a little bit. Most of these really beautiful pieces that were put together, the real ones, so full of prayers and so full of real objects. You know, I'm finding them in the churches, in these churches that I mentioned. There were small pieces that were put around trees, and not small, but just big piles of things. But what happens is the church will come back in, and because the church needs the money, they'll pull off all the silver, they'll pull off all the gold, they'll melt it down, they'll kind of burn things off, they'll get rid of things. So it ends up coming apart if they're these little private ones that are put up. The ones that you see in Mexico now that are kind of a cross with all these really nice Milagros nailed to them, those are made up for the general public. It really is, and I've seen one. So you have there's a tiny one in Austria that has it painted. Oh my gosh, how wonderful. So, you know, it's really interesting. It's like looking around for these type of things. Many Milagros, yes, I know. So really, skulls in the Milagros, absolutely. You know, it's one thing I love about the whole Mexican culture is that they're not afraid of the death. It's celebrated. We have done so much on Day of the Dead down there. So as we get closer to October, I really want to do a really good presentation on Day of the Dead and the jewelry and, you know, just the celebrations and all of that, which would be a really fun one too. So this group, ASJRA, look them up online. They're a group that is all about performance art and about museums, and they was so interesting. I just joined their group. I think it was like $55 or maybe $100. It wasn't that much money. They immediately sent me these beautiful Netflix films where they have a beautiful presentation of jewelry, which I was like, oh my gosh, I need this. It's a really good source for us finding, you know, and for me especially, like finding and digging into all of these beautiful art, the art of jewelry, you know, more of the history, the art of jewelry. And that is really what I am all about. And if you're here to join me, I know it's what you're all about too. It's like, you know, I studied at the Art Institute of Chicago. I studied history and culture and folk art and folk tales. When you read folk tales, I've read Irish folk tales, African folk tales, Middle Eastern folk tales, you know, and you can be put back in time to what people really thought about during that period of time, what were their hopes, their dreams, even our own European fairy tales. You know, when you read like Hansel and Gretel and you really think about these you know, they were living out in the middle of nowhere and they were literally starving, and they were like, we're gonna starve to death, we might as well give our kids a chance and put them out in the middle of nowhere, you know, drop them off in the middle of the forest. Maybe they can save themselves, you know. So there were real stories about real things that happened, you know, and it's just fascinating because when you after you read a folktale, take a look at the artwork that was around during that time, or, you know, the paintings that were around, or the jewelry, or the symbolism for protection, you know. At the basis of everything is always a spiritual or a religious base. So when I first started my studies, I can say I was pretty much an atheist, kind of undoing from Catholicism during that time. And I have done nothing but, you know, and first I just would look at things kind of as a anthropologist would look at things and record things. And then I became part of what I was studying, you know, and I just really realized at the basis of everything, at the base core, you're going to find spirituality or religion, you know, and it's so different and varied in all cultures, but everything is so similar, you know. So how can you help but to not want to put down another person's religion or culture? You know, it's just everyone is trying to do the best they can, right? So, okay, you guys. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about in Milagros. So, you know, the corals were used, these beautiful pieces. This kind of reminds me, the cross in there kind of reminds me of all this filigree work we're doing in our group that we're doing. So, you know, really think about shrines in here. Hello, Charmed, I'm sure. Oh my gosh, Jean, were you here the whole time? Nice to see you. Thank you for joining us. Hi, you guys. I'm so grateful to have you guys all here. I've got on all my jewelry stuff. I'm so grateful to be showing up, and I'm so glad to see you guys all here today. We're working on all the filigrees. Remember, I was talking about with our jewelry, you know, when you stop, you know, I just go into my studio, I clear and I build. When I can get a chance to get away from my jewelry for a little bit and take a look at my collection, I can really see what I have going on in my life. You know, I can see what I had going on in my life at that time, what my studies were, what was going on. This one is actually carved conus shell. Isn't that interesting? This is like from New Zealand, cracked. I just had to repair it. And, you know, with the other stack too. So this is just my everyday bracelets that I have on. I love wearing my super big stacks too. My earrings I have on, when I put my hair back, I can really get these nice. These are nice because I actually, you know, I talk about building with 24 karat. This I'm building with 26 karat to make them nice and light, especially hollow forms. My gem is gonna be heavy enough, so when I can cut out the back, I cut out the back, you know, especially for earrings. This one is super light. You could see my ear isn't being pulled, but also I do love the idea of these beautiful long hanging pieces that are coming down in the front of me. Practical ones sometimes, but you know, I'm actually just kind of getting these hooks around my ear is what you guys will see in my next jewelry show that I do, are kind of these hooks that come up and around, and you guys are welcome to use those in your own work too. You know, for me, it's like I kind of like the idea. I go into different stages. For a while, I just wanted to build pendants. For a while, I wanted to build rings, you know, and now I'm really enjoying this whole process of earrings. These are some pieces that I have with me too that are kind of built in the same type of Milagros style that I love. You know, they start off with the hollow form up top, right on your ear. Maybe these are a little heavier. I don't think they're so heavy, but you can see I built them with the twisted wire. So I actually put the, you know, I want to put an ear wire right at the top because it helps it from pulling your ears down. Creates altars using inspiration from Day of the Dead. I love that. You know, if anybody knows also in this culture, we have been, when I go to Mexico and teach in Mexico, I used to teach in October, and we would go down to the authentic cemeteries, and it was just so beautiful. We were invited in. There was one year we went down and we dressed as the Kachina, which is the French people that came in during that time. When you see like ribbed bone, these little skinny ribbed bone women that are all made out of bones, little purses, hats, high heels, corsets on them. It actually is the Mexican people making fun of the French people that they would see come into their culture. Can you imagine? It's hot there, you know, you're being practical, you've got the looks, you've got, you know, everything going on for your culture, and here comes people that are not dressed for your culture. And, you know, stilettos, stilettos are good in the dirt because you could just kind of chunk your way up, you know, through with your stilettos. Hard wearing earrings. Yes, okay, cuffs. Cuffs would be wonderful. I do have a cuff here. Let me show you guys this cuff. Let me see if I have it here. I want to wear this. Oh, I do have it here. I want to wear this one today too. This one actually sits beautiful. This is the concept of what I'm working on. This is actually cannot come off of here, so it's just a simple cuff that I put together. And I've got an earring on, but I do love the way that this sits. And I'm just kind of working on design, style, what type of gauge this needs to be. But you can see this really, you know, I'm gonna put this up here. These are it's a little longer cuff, but you know, this actually is hooked to the inside of my ear. Hi, that's Nan. Nice to see you. See, so this is kind of the concept, you know, of these cuffs here. So I'm going to actually be making some of these cuffs for yourself. You guys are welcome to use these. I'll sit and wear this through our, the rest of our conversation so you guys can admire it. I always like to wear the jewelry. Hey, Kim, see that? Yeah, see? I don't know about going out and dancing in these. I'm trying them out. I've worn, these are nice and heavy. It's something about, I had another pair of cuffs that fell off when I was really out doing my day-to-day stuff. This one, for some reason, doesn't, so I'm trying to figure out, like, what is it about this specific cut or weight where I can kind of crunch it together and move in here. Also I'm seeing a lot of them, even in fashion, come back around the front. I'm getting a lot of my charms and Milagros together. I am so excited about my next jewelry sale, you guys. I'm doing, I will have my one-of-a-kind pieces out there for my next jewelry sale, but I'm putting together some really nice light little bracelets that you can even put a charm on, or some will have charms on, hoop earrings. I want to do 100 earrings for like $100. I kind of really like that. So that's kind of what's coming up. Oh, thank you. So, so the cuff is nice. See, so maybe I'll wear this next time. But move around with it. You guys know how heavy these crystals are. We worked with these in intentional metalsmithing, right? So kind of interesting there. So what else did I want to say? So I know I have a couple of seats for Mexico. I know there was someone who I just saw on here that wasn't able to make it, which made me, a little bit sad. It's so much fun in Mexico when you go. Sam, actually at the Hacienda, I have it on my website. She just is asking for a very small deposit down, and then you get 100% of your money back if it's COVID that, we have to cancel. But I'm pretty much, I know of a lot of people who are even in my, where I live, who are heading over to Mexico in October. It's a very small, I know, see, you can't fly, I know. It's a very small airport there. And, it's so interesting. I went out to dinner the other night. I've been really I realized if I wear a mask, I can do anything now. I'm not going to hold myself back. I'm just going to wear a mask. So going into this restaurant, I went to Little Italy. Going into this restaurant, they just test your temperature as you walk in. It's just our new reality, right, guys? Oh, and so Friday night, tomorrow night, I have to tell you guys, I'm so excited because how am I going to bring this into my jewelry and into my life and into my work? When I was up there in Little Italy, we have this Little Italy, which, Chicago, Cleveland, we have this beautiful little cultures in all these areas. There's a Croatian area. Little Italy, it's this restaurant, and they're actually bringing in an Italian opera singer. I'm so excited. I don't know if I would ever go to the opera, but if I could go and eat some super good pasta, drink a glass of wine, I'm really excited. I've heard of people who went up there and started singing with her. So I'm really excited about getting out to the opera, So, there's Christina. Christina's going out to Mexico too, you guys. Yay! So Mexico, if anyone is up for Mexico, it's the first week. It's right after Thanksgiving. I'm going to head up there on Saturday. Sunday, everyone else arrives, or you can come up on Saturday. The workshop starts on Monday. We go from Monday to Friday. It's a beautiful, beautiful setting. We not only, the workshop, the first 2 days, I usually work, I usually work us through pretty good. And then after that, I just do morning presentations and work, and then it's open studio. I think we're gonna go to an opal mine to do some digging. We go to see galleries. We go out to an interesting restaurant. It's really, really fun. So if anyone is interested and feel they could travel or want to travel, I know here in Cleveland, we're all kind of really excited because we're on the decline. And even though, this is our new reality, wearing our masks. Oh, the studio in Mexico, though, is really wide open. So I have no worries. We have a lot of room. We could separate ourselves 6 feet apart. I don't see us wearing masks in the studio. There's a lot of breezes coming through. The Hacienda! Kim came for many years and she's not coming this year. So sad. So that's kind of it. Yeah. Aw, see. So So you guys, I hope the Milagros kind of inspired you guys. Look up that group that I told you about. I'll post it on my Facebook group. They're a group like us who's very interested in, in the whole presentation of jewelry. Anytime I gave the talk on Calder last week, which I thought was so fascinating because he's exactly what I am talking about as far as taking your jewelry into a different place. Not just talking about it as, oh, isn't this beautiful? Oh, I'm going to wear an engagement ring. Oh, I love this here. Really expressing yourself through art, through symbolism, through talisman, through personal objects, through digging into your own personal self. So, oh, yeah, see, this will be nice. I'm so glad. I'm looking forward to spend time with Christina too out there too. So, and thank you. Wait, so Sassy 59. Who is Sassy 59? See, it's like we have our name here. Let me see, because I know who's going to Mexico. I have the list. I'm going to open up a group for our Mexico group too. So all of these things, you can find all these crosses down there. You can find the Milagros down there. I actually stayed. I know. See, so it's all there. Sherry, okay. Oh my gosh, Sherry, I was supposed to see you in Portland. I'm so glad, Sherry. Okay, yeah, so Sherry's in our group going to Mexico. So, it's just kind of some exciting things. I have India on my list in January. Who knows? My hopes are yes. We'll see. I know, it's really, I think once we got into this meditative state, this is such, of COVID, please take advantage of this time. It's such a beautiful time to really spend time with yourself. It's such a hard time. Whenever you're really, I keep encouraging people to look at yourself, look at who you are, dig into what you love and all of that. And when you do, sometimes there's a little depression that comes out with it too. So, be nice to yourself, be kind to yourself. It's moving you ahead. Oh, Pam from what? That's Pam from Canada? Oh my gosh, Pam, I love you. Wait, yeah, we call her Pretty Pam. That's who we call her, Pretty Pam. Don't even look at her picture, girls. Uncle Pam 12. I think you're not describing yourself as beautifully. So anyway, be kind to yourself as you're doing all this exploring work. It's quieter, so you can, just really this digging in work. It's hard to do. Very few people do this digging in work. And I'm working out, I have a meeting with Christina tomorrow. She's really helping me out work this idea of this next advanced course that I'm doing. This next advanced course, it's more about creativity, pulling your creative self, finding out who you are, digging into your real stuff so you can get at your real work, holding a space for you, for each other, because there's exercises and ways that you can get through all of this. When I started writing Making Connections, I had no idea about any of this. I spent 3 years just dreaming, eating, sleeping, breathing. I stopped soldering. I stopped, a lot of things, and I did all cold join. And when I was digging so deep into myself to come up with words and express myself as my own work, I also pulled up all this old stuff that I really didn't want to deal with and now had to. So, during the book Making Connections, I don't know if people remember from way back, if you can remember the time period, it was a different book than was out there. I chose not to use a publisher, so I really put together my own words and my own way. So it's just like a piece of jewelry. I wrote that book the way I built a piece of jewelry, pulling out your real stuff. Where can you buy silver sterling Milagros? There are some sites. It's actually, I was looking on Etsy. I have a couple sterling Milagros coming in. Let me see if I can post some up there. Also, there's casts. You could actually have some cast, or buy the castings. But in Mexico, Central America, South America, I'll look up and see. They're really made to be expendable. When we're in Mexico, Guadalupe is when really we were out there for Guadalupe, our group. The last time we were in Mexico, we stayed longer, the last 2 times. And right about early end of December, mid-December, there's this Guadalupe festival. Guadalupe comes out, and when Guadalupe comes out is when there are Milagro vendors outside of the beautiful churches in San Miguel, in Puerto Vallarta, where we're going. So that's the first time that I had seen them up on the stairs. They're done in silver. There's silver mines out there. So, definitely if you look into these areas, you're going to be able to find the silver ones. Okay. Next change to attach to masks, like eyeglasses. Oh my gosh, I love that. Diane. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is one of my best friends from kindergarten. And she's not a jeweler, so hi Diane, so nice to see you. So Diane actually is saying, I love her, she's so creative. So Diane, she loves being a supporter of all of this. So she's asking, has anyone ever thought of doing jewelry attached to our masks? Huh? All you jewelers? What do you think about that idea? Oh my gosh, Diane, I can't wait to see you again. Thank you for coming on here and talking about it. Chains and different things for masks. Won't that be cool? It's just the beginning of masks, or some of these headpieces where we can, just beautiful headpieces, Wouldn't that be beautiful? So, oh my gosh. Okay, you guys. Well, it has been about 50 minutes. I really try to keep our time down a little bit, but I'll show you guys this piece that I'm building. I kind of want it to be over the top. It's going to be over the top filigree. It's really in its ugly state, the raw. And then of course I have some things coming off the side. It's going to be kind of interesting. And again, when I talk about torches, I love doing these really big pieces like this. This is almost like a Milagros, right? But I just kind of wanted to explore the idea. This is something we're working on our IM, Potential Metalsmithing course. I want to have this done to where when I show up with the group, because it is filigree on top of filigree, it also is a discipline for me in seeing what this little butane torch will do, So anyway, so is there anything else anyone wants to say? Uncle Pam. Oh my gosh. All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. Look into that jewelry group if you guys want to explore any farther. I'm going to be here next Thursday, of course. I'm going to try to start laying out some of the subject matters, some of my subjects that I'm doing. There's some of them that you might be familiar with, but it's really good to bring in, all these different ideas like that. So, what's the na? What's the na? Oh, okay, the jewelry group. Let me give you the jewelry group. And I'm going to actually post it in here. You get my jewelry group that I mentioned to you guys. I'm glad that you asked. It's ASJRA. Super amazing. Just get onto their website, check it out. They have an Instagram site too. It's posted in that way. Oh my gosh, I loved the organizer. I loved everything. We really connected. I'm super excited about our group. So she's like, she wanted to post my pencil stub necklace because it's, so if you guys know that piece, that's the energy talisman. So they're all about jewelry in a bigger sense. For me, guess what? Remember I talked about my drum group? I can't wait to get some of this fringy jewelry on some of these dancers, and maybe myself, but some of these dancers with the flowing. I'm planning on showing up with flowing pieces, so we'll see what's up. Okay, you guys, thank you so much. So nice to see you, Kim, too. Thank you, Christina, and thank you, Adrian, all you guys for showing up. So I'll see you guys next Thursday, if nothing else. Thank you so much. And there still is my cuff. See, I have it on. Bye, guys. Mwah.